First at 4, following the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade on Friday, an Eastern Kentucky attorney decided she is going to offer free legal services if people are prosecuted for providing or obtaining an abortion. She talked with WYMT's Dakota Makris about her decision.
In a viral tweet receiving more than 12,000 retweets, Hazard attorney Michelle Lawson says she is offering pro bono services.
I want to help people. That's the whole reason I posted it. I wanted to help people, and you know, we all can make a difference doing our small part.
Once the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, it activated Kentucky's trigger law, effectively banning abortions in the state unless a pregnancy threatens the life of the mother. Lawson says the law does not have a carve-out for victims of assault, rape, or incest. Right now, a doctor could be prosecuted in Kentucky for performing an abortion.
I've also had contact with some providers since posting the tweet who've told me that sometimes medically abortion is the medical advice that they want to provide to their patients, but this law is making it so that they can't.
In Kentucky, a woman cannot be prosecuted for seeking an abortion under Kentucky's trigger law. In Hazard, Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News.
The ACLU of Kentucky and Planned Parenthood filed a lawsuit Monday challenging Kentucky's trigger ban. A hearing has not been held yet. CVS and Rite Aid have started limiting purchases of emergency contraception. The companies say customers can only buy 3 pills of Plan B. CVS says it has enough supply, but there's been an increase in demand since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade last week. Well, today the Biden administration laid out plans it is making to protect women's access to abortion services in the fallout of last week's U.S. Supreme Court decision. It comes as legal challenges continue to mount to challenge those so-called trigger laws in mostly red states that ban abortion in the days following the historic ruling, and that of course includes Kentucky. CBS's Skylar Henry is in Washington to continue our coverage.
Abortion rights demonstrators hung their message to President Biden from the top of a crane in Washington, D.C.
Today, we dropped a banner asking President Biden to take action, executive action, to protect abortion.
This is a critical moment in our history.
Health and Human Services Secretary Javier Becerra says his department has been planning for the High Court's decision to strike down Roe v. Wade for some time. Tuesday, he unveiled the Biden administration's action plan, which includes increasing access to abortion medication, ensuring privacy for patients and providers, and directing Medicare and Medicaid to protect family planning services, including emergency and long-acting contraceptives. Secretary Becerra says all options are on the table, but he declined to give specifics on how the Biden administration will implement its plan.
We can't tell you there's a silver bullet. It takes a little time because we want to do it right and we want to do it according to the law.
Meanwhile, a new legal battle is already underway in states across the country, particularly in many of the 13 states that have in place laws that automatically ban abortion. State court judges in Utah, Louisiana, and Texas have temporarily blocked enforcement of their so-called trigger laws.
Is this a Band-Aid over something that ultimately is the inevitable?
I think they are buying time. I do not think most of them will ultimately be successful.
Soon, voters will also weigh in, with abortion-related measures already on the ballot in several states in the coming months. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the Supreme Court.
Well, weather-wise, continues to be a pretty nice afternoon around the mountains. We've got plenty of sunshine, even though we do have some of those high clouds working in, but outside of that, it's still a beautiful feeling afternoon. High-dive camera UVA-wise, looking at some of those high clouds, but even so, we've still got plenty of sunshine, sitting at 73 in Southwest Virginia. We're in the low 80s here in Hazard. A look from our Buffalo Mountain camera in southern Perry County. Again, we've got some scattered high clouds beginning to work in. That's kept us rather near normal today. We should be about 84 this time of year. We've been a couple degrees cooler than that, but still not too bad. Low 80s, upper 70s out there. Dew points remain in the 50s. So yeah, it is a fantastically comfortable afternoon and nothing on pinpoint Doppler that would interrupt that. Some a little bit of moisture trying to work through central Kentucky, but none of that's reaching the ground. It's associated with some of those high clouds beginning to push in from the west. We don't have the moisture to see any of that rain move in. So as we head through the remainder of the night tonight, how about upper 50s? Mostly clear and just like last night, rather pleasant around the mountains. But all good things must come to an end, and we've got some heat on the way as we head into the rest of the work week, heading into our holiday weekend. The details on that coming up in just a little bit. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. The House Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol scheduled a surprise hearing today. Cassidy Hutchinson, an aide to former President Trump's White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, shared more information about the days leading up to the attack. She said the former president's former personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, boasted about plans in the days before January 6th and adds the former president himself was furious that Secret Service metal detectors kept some of his supporters outside of the official rally before the riot.
I overheard the president say something to the effect of, you know, I don't effing care that they have weapons. They're not here to hurt me. Take the effing mags away. Let my people in. They can march to the Capitol from here.
There was also testimony that former President Trump demanded to be taken to the Capitol after the rally and tried to grab the steering wheel from a Secret Service agent. While Congress conducts its January 6th investigation, the U.S. Justice Department is also continuing to look into potential crimes surrounding the events of that day. We'll have a more detailed breakdown of those investigations coming up tonight at 5:30. Leaders from G7 countries are earmarking up to $5 billion in funds to help address global food insecurity. They say this move is needed to counter the production problems caused by Russia's unprovoked invasion of Ukraine. The United States will foot more than half of the bill, with President Joe Biden committing nearly $3 billion toward the effort. The White House says the Russian attack has hindered grain shipments, which will force tens of millions of people into poverty this year. More people are getting jobs in renewable energy, everything from electric car companies to solar, wind, and nuclear power. The Department of Energy released a report Tuesday showing renewable energy jobs outpaced economy-wide growth in 2021. Fossil fuel jobs slowed down, even as fossil fuel production went up. As for this year, Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm says oil and gas jobs numbers will probably increase as supply increases and President Biden pushes for more domestic fossil fuel production. Let's head over to Wall Street now this Tuesday. The Dow closes down today more than 490 points. We'll have more financial news in our next half hour. Before you or even your pets are outdoors, there's a risk public health officials and veterinarians want you to be aware of. Dr. Danica Harvey at the Appalachian Animal Hospital says rabies is still a disease people should be concerned with. She says in order to avoid putting yourself or your pets at risk for rabies, you should keep your distance from wild animals and keep your pets up to date on their rabies vaccinations.
Vaccination obviously is our biggest way of combating that. And, you know, your dogs and cats are both animals that are susceptible to that. And all it takes is a bite and contact with saliva from an animal that has it in order to contract it.
Dr. Harvey adds that rabies can be a fatal disease, and when there are signs and symptoms of it in your pets, that means it's too late to treat. When we return on First at 4, will Johnny Depp be coming back as Jack Sparrow?
Plus, we got some warmer weather coming back as we head through this week. I've got the latest on if we could see an increase in showers and storms as well. That's coming up.